Hello everyone and welcome back for the third part of the chapter, Changing Cultural Traditions. So in this video today I'll be starting with the topic, the first printed books. For this part you can take down a question: when did printing technology developed in Europe? What was its significance? So from the question we are to study that when was the printing technology developed in Europe, and if it was developed, then what was its significance, or we can say why it was so important. So let's see. Now, revolutionary printing technology developed in the 16th century. Now for this, Europeans were indebted to the Chinese and the Mongol rulers. It was so because European traders and diplomats visited to the courts of Chinese and Mongol rulers, and they had been familiar with it. When I say with it, means printing. Okay, now since they visit these European rulers, they visit the Chinese or the Mongol rulers, and from there only they learn the art of printing, or we can say the printing technology. That is why they say that they are indebted to them. Besides that, you can see that earlier texts were only available in handwritten format or handwritten copies. Then the first printing press was made in 1455 CE by a German fellow. His name is Johannes Gutenberg. So a very familiar name in the history. Okay, so now Johannes Gutenberg. Now during that moment, what did he do is that he printed around 150 copies of the Bible. So in a simple way, printing was faster than handwritten, that we all know. Okay, but for that time it was really a significant development. Now, as the question asks us that what is the significance of it. Now by 1500 CE, a number of classical texts had been printed in Italy, and most of them were in Latin language. Now students had not to depend solely on lecture because printed books are now available. Ideas, opinion, etc. spread far and wide and more rapidly than ever before. Before it was only lecture, so it cannot be it cannot be given, or it cannot be transferred from one area to another, because a lecture is finished when the time is up. Here we are talking about recording the writings. So when you say recording the writings, means what? During their time, basically everything was in a lecture mode. But slowly and slowly, when the printed form or when printing started, books started to come up. Now a student does not have to depend solely on the lecture. Now even if he misses the lecture, he has a textbook. Right, from the textbook he can study more, and not only in that area, the same lecture can be recorded or handwritten, or you can say printed out, and it can spread far and wide. It is not necessary that it will be spread only in one part of Europe. It may go to further south, east, north, or far away from Europe. That is what it is said. Then a printed book with the new ideas was quickly adopted, or you can say people started to look or they are in need of all this type of books. So whenever there was a book or printed book comes out with new ideas, thousands of copies are printed, because thousands of readers are there who were eagerly waiting for this. Then now every reader started to purchase books from the markets. So as the number of books available, means according to the number of readers, that number of books was also available in the market. That is what happened, that it developed the art of reading. That means habit of reading among people was greatly from a small group to a large group. And now people started to read books, people started to share books, people started to buy more books. That means the printing was of a very it was a very good development, we can say. That is why when it is asked what is the significance of it, you can easily say that the significance of printing was that it made the book, or you can say number of books available in the market, and because of the availability of the books in the market, people could buy and people could read, and more people are engaged in reading. That means mass of the crowd are becoming, we can say, educated or learned. So our next part is the aspirations of women. For this part, you take down a question. The question is, critically examine the condition of European women in the Renaissance age. So here what are we going to study or see is that what was the condition of European women during the Renaissance age. So if we go through this part, you will come to know that all European women in the Renaissance age did not enjoy equal status. Generally what happened was that women were excluded from the new ideal of citizenship. Means they are not given any kind of power to cast vote or elect members or take any important decision making or become a part of the decision makers. Public life was basically dominated by men from aristocratic families. Men used to take important decisions of the families. Then sons were educated to join their family business or public. Sometimes younger sons were sent to join the church. Although we see that dowry of women were invested in the family business, but they had no saying. See, the dowry of the women can be used in the business, but they are not allowed to say anything in running the business of their husbands. Generally what happened was that marriages took place to strengthen the business alliances. It means that if a daughter or a girl is to be married, now they used to look for the alliance who is good for business. A boy also, if he is to be married, they always look for a girl who is belonging to a business family, so that after marriage their business can be prosper either from the boy's side or from the girl's side. Whatever it is, girls are the target only, or we can say women were the target. They were not even allowed to enjoy their life full-fledged, that means with freedom, right? Then daughters were sent to convents. Now when you talk about convents, it's a type of school where only girls used to study. Only girls, we can say this is basically a girls' school. Daughters were sent to convents to live the life of a nun. Now see, as they go there, it is not because they wanted to be controlled. It is also because these girls are preferably means they have to select one kind of living which is known as nun, N-U-N. It means they will not marry. They are going to sacrifice their life. Sacrifice not like killing themselves, but sacrifice a worldly life. Okay, now they will not be married, they will not marry anyone, and they will just praise Lord. They will be sent to convents so that they can become life, and if even dowry could not be arranged. Now this is done. A girl is sent to the convent only in one condition. Not every girl will be sent. During that time what happened was that if a family who has got a daughter is unable to arrange money for the dowry, that girl will be sent to the convent. Not every girl, but yes, it depends on somebody's choice. But why should one make a choice of becoming a nun? A girl, when she decides to become a nun, it will be because of some kind of pressure, right? So here also, a family, when they are unable to arrange money, which is known as dowry also, then only the girl is sent to the convent so that she becomes a nun and lives a life of a saint type. Okay, then thus the participation of women in public life was very limited. Their role was limited, and it was only up to the household. They were basically known as the keepers of the household. So that was the you can say the condition of women in the European era, or you can say European sites or European countries. during Renaissance age. So as we are looking at the condition of the European women in the Renaissance age, so everywhere the condition of women was not the same. So here we will be looking at some of the women, that means some of the type of society where women are given some kind of freedom, and this is all about the women in the families of merchants. Now here the position of women was quite different. Wives often assisted their husband, shopkeepers, means that if the husband is a shopkeeper or running a business, they assisted them in running the shops. Sometimes the wife of the merchants and moneylenders also have to look after the business in case the husband is out of the town. So it all falls on the wife to run the business which the husband is looking after in the absence of the husband. In the contrary, when I say contrary, means just the opposite. Okay, now in aristocratic families, the women were very means they are like bound inside the family. But for this families, the merchants family, if in case the husband dies, merchant dies, now everything has to be looked after by the wife. So in that case, we can say that it is just different than the life of those women who are born and who is in the aristocratic families. So in a merchant's family, the role, means the public role of the woman or of the widow, becomes larger when the husband dies. She will be like a full-fledged owner of the business, and she will be looking at the business, running the business in the absence. Now this time her husband is no more, so she is given the full chance to run the business without any question. Right, so now we have got some kind of ladies or women in this part who took these things into the notice of the world, means they brought this thing so that the people of the world or people who are in this era or whatever era they belong to, they have to study about women, or they have to see the condition of the woman. So here we are talking about creative women. Okay, now when you talk about creative women, and there are very few women who are intellectually very creative, and not only creative, they are also quite worried about the importance of humanist education. Like that, we have one lady, Venetia Cassandra Federila. Okay, now this is the name of the lady, Cassandra Federila. Then even though she used to write books, the study of letters or promises and offers no reward for women and no dignity. Every woman ought to seek and embrace these studies. Now these words were said by Cassandra. Of letters, when you say now, don't take these alphabets now. Letters means some kind of a letter which has been given to the family of the businessman or aristocrat, in which it is written that after this all the power will be given to the lady. After that, everything will belong to the lady. But most of the time this just remain in the letter. They never give any chance to the lady. So she was one of few women who raised question against the idea that women are not capable of achieving the qualities of humanist scholar. So Cassandra was not in favor that people talk that a girl is not or a woman is not capable of doing anything. She was really surprised to know that people still think that a woman should not be given a chance, or a woman should not be allowed to do any kind of thing, because she may not be able to bring or achieve any qualities of humanist scholar. Now how can a person decide that a girl cannot? So this was the thought of Europeans during the Renaissance age. So just to go against this, a lady came out, the Venetian Cassandra Federila. So that is one, and then she was one of those type. that who never want to back up. Now Federila she was very good in Greek, means she can read, write everything, Greek and Latin. And then she was also invited in the University of Padua as a guest lecturer, we can say, to give her oration, means to give a speech as an orator, because she was very good in speaking. Okay, she can express the words so nicely that everyone can be motivated. So in that way she was welcome, she was invited in the university so that people could listen, students could listen and can decide like what to be done and what should be removed from the society, right? So in that way another writer will come up in this same part. So now let's see first of all Federila's writing, what happened to it. Now writings of Federila bring into focus the general concern for education in that age. Whatever she wrote, she started questioning that what are we teaching them? The education system that they had during that time, was it good enough for that age? Right? She was one of those women writers of Venice who criticized the Republic for making a highly limited definition of freedom. So according to her, she said that I don't know how can a person can define freedom in very limited words, right? Freedom means, you can't express what is freedom. If I ask what is freedom, you may say freedom means to do whatever you like. So you see, when you say whatever you like, automatically the window is wide open. But during that time, maybe someone, or the local people or the aristocratic societies, they define freedom in such a way that which does not bring anything in their life or which is very bad for their life. So she questioned that how can how can this people define freedom in such a very limited words? Okay, so in her writings express all this type of question, and so that people could come to know like yes, they have to do something in order to create an environment where each and every person, either a man or a woman, should be given equal chances, like that. Then another lady of that time was Marchesa of Mantua. Okay, a Marchesa of Mantua, Isabella. Now Mantua is the name of a place. Now Isabella d'Este is the name. Now what happened was that she is also a type of writer, we can say, another remarkable woman of this age. Now she ruled the state in a case her husband was absent. Means now she was exactly like, you can see, like she was a writer. Now what kind of writer she was? She is not that a writer who writes what is going on here, what is going on there. She writes about her life. She wrote it. Then what she wrote was all about this. Like she said that I rule the part, or I rule the business when her husband is absent or away from his place. Then she also said that though Mantua was a small state, yet its court was known for its intellectual brilliance. Now she brought, she was bringing some kind of ideas to the people, saying that though she live in a very small area, but that small area has got a big heart. That means intellectual brilliance was there. Means people of that era or people of that area welcome women for showing their capability. They do not deny women from doing any type of work. So that is what all about this European the women's condition in Europe during Renaissance age. Now women's writing reveal that women should be given vast economic power. Whatever they wrote, they did not just write that we need this, we need that. First of all, they say that freedom, and then they said this freedom also will come if economic power is given. Okay, property is given, education is given, so that they can achieve something and they can make their own identity and prove to the world that is dominated by men.